Good morning, tribe, and welcome to the Donut Shop at the beginning of the world. I am your host, Dr. Mark Merriweather Vorderbruggen, standing to you virtually in front of some of my old stomping grounds in Minnesota. I thought I'd throw up a picture of Minnesota today. This is probably what it looks like. Well, probably a little more brown right now because we're in the ending of the hot, dry desert season up in Minnesota. So now with September here, things are probably going to be picking up soon. A little cooler and a little rainier. Oh man, tired. Hey Chris, good morning. Hey, do you got any friends out in Louisiana, Chris? Any shrimper friends or anything? Hey Ellen, yep, I got back yesterday. Tammy, good morning. I missed you guys. Yeah, it was tiring. Very, very tiring. I slept 4 hours from between 6:30 Sunday morning and probably 10:30 last night. So it was a lot. Hey Wade, good morning. Jennifer, you're alive. I gotta say, I don't feel it. I feel very tired. Very, very tired. Okay, Chris. Yeah, only one got tore up bad. Most of them got lucky. That's good to hear. But yeah, it sounded like a lot of ships, aquatic craft suffered a lot of damage, especially along the coast, the shrimp boats and stuff. Hey, Ula. Good morning. Donna, hello. Michelle, welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, one of the guys in the shelter was a shrimper, and his everything got destroyed. He was in a pretty positive mood, though. He's one of those guys that realized, yeah, I lost everything, but I'm still alive. So you know what? Let's do this. So that was reassuring to see. I'd rather not have to help. Oh, not have to help any. I'd rather no one needed help. But when you have some people around you with that positive attitude, it makes it easier. Hey, Charleser. Good morning. Doug, hello. Yeah, Chris, we expect to take our boat over there soon to do some repair work on the oil rigs. Cool. Yeah, that was one thing. When we're in the shelters, they don't. They prefer not to have any sort of news playing. Most of the people are a little too focused on just recovering from whatever, but they don't want to give people extra reason to be upset and afraid. And so, for the most part, I had no clue what was going on. Just bits and snippets of basically what the clients, we call them clients, were telling us about how they lost everything, how their neighborhood was wiped out, all that sort of thing. So we really, even now, it seems like there isn't a lot of great news, or I mean, there isn't a lot of quality news coming out from Louisiana. And what little bits I've heard don't seem to jive with what I heard firsthand from the people that were in the shelter. So, I don't know. Hey Laura, good morning Canadian. Helen, hello. Morning Helen hugs. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, Jennifer, watching the news equals scared and afraid regardless of the topic. Yeah, this is true. But, yeah, I gotta tell you though, if you don't have just a bag sitting in the corner with an extra shirt, extra change of underwear, and maybe a deck of cards and a paperback book, and phone chargers, have a bag with an extra change of underwear, an extra shirt, deck of cards, and phone chargers, just sitting there ready to go and grab. Because that was the thing. I mean, most of these people, they showed up with nothing. And yeah. They do. Ooh, I should have brought it in here. You do. So when you arrive at the Red Cross shelter, after checking in and getting a list of the rules and some contact information, blah blah blah, you are given a toiletries bag that has a washcloth, a bar of soap, shampoo, deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrush, dental floss, feminine pads or feminine protection, a comb, and a razor. And then you're also given a towel and 2 blankets, 2 Red Cross blankets. And then you're shown to a cot and said, okay, and away you go. The goal of the Red Cross shelters is to give you a place of stay until you can find some place you can go to and stay at. In the Red Cross's notebook guidance, whatever, their goal is to have anyone that comes in, have them out again within 2 days. Have found other accommodations for them with friends, neighbors, or maybe not neighbors, but friends, relatives, hotel, something like that. One thing that occurred, so normally like the Red Cross tries to get hotel rooms for the volunteers that are coming in from out of the area. But all the hotel rooms in the area had already been booked up by the insurance companies and by the electrical lineman companies and by like roofing companies and all that for their crews. So it was sleeping in the car sort of thing. That's okay. But the insurance companies, they book it so they can, the people that lost their roof and so forth and need a place to stay. They said, okay, we got a hotel here. Go there. That's where you're going to be, sort of thing. Hey, Kimberlyn, good morning. But another thing in your go bag, earplugs, like the little foam soft ones that go into the ear, and some sort of sleep mask, just to put over your eyes because it's noisy in there, and it'll just help you sleep. So underwear, another pair of another shirt, socks, I guess maybe a pair of pants or something like that. Phone charger cables, of course. Well, ideally medicines, but most people can't keep spare medicines in their go bag. If possible, maybe copies of your insurance paperwork, and then a mask and earplugs. This go bag keeps getting bigger and bigger, doesn't it? All right. Hey, Tracy, I got your message. We'll take care of it. The problem is computers are really dumb. And so to the computer, it said, you did not order the immune pill. You ordered the Warrior bundle or whichever bundle it was that, of course, has the immune pill in it. But to the computer, it does not. But yeah, we'll work out the refund for you. Not a problem. Yes. And I need to talk about this. So here in Texas, there's a YouTuber by the name of Bob Hansler, who is this amazing outdoorsman, bushcrafter, wild dude who has tons of videos on wilderness survival in Texas. And it turns out he needs a kidney transplant. He's in very ill health. And so I'm trying to set something up. I don't want to say anything in particular yet until I can actually get things set up. But right now he does have a GoFund site for donations to help pay for the kidney transplant. And then he also talks about the blood type he is. Do you remember, Chad? Is he B positive or something? But anyway, the sort of thing, that if people are interested in maybe donating a kidney to get checked and see if there would be a match. But yeah, more information on that will be coming. But right now here, I actually have Bob's YouTube channel already set up here. So let me just, Bob Hansler, Texas Wilderness Skills. We'll call that. All right. Okay, A+. So I was one letter off. So A+. So if you're A+, you might consider seeing if you have a spare kidney you can give him. Hey, Kimberly, good morning. Wow, Kimberly's giving out hugs. Get in line, get in line. Missed everyone too, group hugs. Yeah. Hey, Carrie, good morning. Coffee. Oh, okay, just a minute. So our shelter was set up as an overflow. As different shelters filled up, they would then send the people that were showing up after their shelter was filled up to our shelter. And so I don't want to say our shelter was kind of an afterthought for the Red Cross as far as supplies and stuff. We had no coffee. No coffee. I had no coffee for Sunday through Tuesday. No coffee. And no sleep. But anyway, I survived. I survived. There were people that had, worse off than me. Oh, wow. Carrie, I saw that video. Know someone who gave kidney to someone so her husband could get a kidney. So she gave a kidney to someone so someone else would give her husband a kidney? Wow. Hey, Nicole. Good morning. Yeah. Did you find a coffee substitute in the backyard? So I looked, and there wasn't anything around there. So, no. All right, Jennifer. There needs to be a lot of Farkleberry poop talk this morning. No, there doesn't. I tell you. But yeah, I'm still recovering. It was, yeah, and it wasn't just me that had issue with this. So anyway, yeah, how do you house a Cajun without coffee? And very, very carefully, very carefully. Hey, Carla. Yeah, I'm surprised someone would set up a shelter without coffee. So this particular shelter, just to put things in perspective, was all the workers there were not from there. In fact, so it was in Orange, Texas, at the Community Expo there. It's still there. I was the only Texan there. The rest of the shelter workers, the Red Cross flew in from Oregon and Chicago and Washington, D.C., and a few other places. Actually, no, that was pretty much it. Yeah, there were only like 7 of us working shifts. So we ended up, instead of doing 8-hour shifts, we were doing 16-hour shifts. But yeah, it wasn't as well stocked as the other shelters I've worked in. So, yep. Oh, so yeah, throw coffee packets into go bag. So one of the things I do, I learned a long time ago, and maybe I've shared this tendency with you all in the past, but I write myself after action notes, and like I have loadout. The next time I'm called up by the Red Cross, what do I need to bring with me? And most of the stuff I had, so things that are critical to have, things that are nice to have, and then things that I brought that were unnecessary, and of course and then notes to myself, okay, be sure to do this, do that, do the other thing. Yeah, so coffee packets are on the list of critical to have now. So yeah, well, if I could have gotten away, I could have, but at that point it was there was a Dollar General and a gas station about a mile down the road, and the gas station, it was pretty much like the last gas station before Louisiana, and it was being wiped out by all the lineman crews and all the roofing crews and all the tree removal crews and all that sort of thing. So just trying to get into and out of the gas station was a very long time, and it was just all right. Let's just try this existence coffee free. I don't recommend it. So if I wanted to wait in line for an hour, I could have got coffee, or I could just go without coffee. Hey, Carol. Good morning. Good to see you too. Ah, yep. CAT facilitators always carry coffee in their go bag. For some reason, planners that don't deploy to CATs never plan for coffee. I can believe that. Yes, yes. Herbs has this wonderful campfire coffee with cardamom in it, and it's so good. I need to get more of that. You should have posted a call for help. I'm sure fellow Texans would help. And part of the issue with the Red Cross, so they've been doing this for 140 years or something, and they've learned if you become a volunteer, there's a number of trainings you have to go through on different aspects of sheltering people, not just the mechanics of it, but also the psychology of it and so forth. But also, one of the things they require is a background check. So to be allowed in amongst like I said, we call them clients, amongst the clients and the clients' kids and all that stuff, you have to undergo a background check to make sure that there's no issues with you being around people. And so most people can't run out and get a background check and in the time to help. So, and it's you think, well, in an emergency, can you do this? And apparently they've had problems in the past when, rules have been put in place generally because of past bad experiences. And the Red Cross has decided, even when we're short of workers, it's still better to only have ones that we've already trained and vetted than just random people off the street. Hey, Roxana, good morning. Hey, Pam. Good morning. You don't look any worse for wear from your time with the Red Cross. I feel worse for wear, that's for sure. Yeah, you don't shelter people together without coffee. Someone will get buried in the back. Yeah. And they did have some Cokes and stuff like that, but I don't know. Not what I wanted. I did have 2 bottles of unsweetened iced tea that I picked up just as a thought. You know what? Maybe I'll get that. And 1 5-hour energy drink. Because around 4 a.m. last night, 2 nights ago, it's all kind of a blur. It's like, okay, you know what? Time for that 5-hour energy drink. Because I got 4 more hours to go. And then I'll probably get tagged to help with breakfast and all that too. Because, yeah, long story. Anyway, yeah, we were understaffed, but so be it. Ooh, Cynthia, cool. I would have brought you coffee. I've had Red Cross training. All right. Ah, Donna. Yep, I'm a registered nurse and back RN. Is it What's the R stand for? Is it registered nurse? Anyway, and background checks are required to retain a license. Yep, I can believe it. Yep. Hey, Carol. In Diaries of a Confederate Soldier, the common topic was next cup of caffeine. About to have some, need some, or just had some. Yep. Okay, Jennifer, how is what you saw different from what the news reported? I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the thing. So I actually saw very little. I was in Orange, Texas. All the destruction was east of Lafayette. And also in the shelters themselves, we don't have news playing because we don't want to scare people or, make them panic even more. So what I know is what the clients told me. So like them coming in and them saying their entire neighborhood was flattened and gone. And this levee broke and this area was flooded and stuff like that. So I just have bits and pieces of the parts of the storm that resulted in the clients being homeless. So, yeah. If I could have signed up for a 12 day shift, they would have put me deeper in Louisiana. But since I could only do 3-4 days, whatever it was, they put me in one of the temporary shelters. One of the shelters that they hope to have up and then close within like 4 days. So anyway, so as far as basically what I heard from the clients was not matching what I heard secondhand from TV sources. So I don't know. The one thing that was confirmed, it was mainly wind damage. There was some flooding in certain areas, but for the most part, a lot of the damage was due to the extremely high winds, knocking down the trees onto houses and onto businesses. And the one hospital had its roof peeled off. But the power outages and the amount of work it's going to take to get the power back up is the main thing. So because so many trees were down, it was hard for people to get out. And so they think the biggest swarm of shelter clients will actually start occurring today, as people are like day 3 without power and realizing, you know what, this sucks. All right. The family, you go to the shelter and, be sexist here. The menfolk will stay and, chop up the trees and all that sort of thing. But in a wind tree down disaster like this, it actually usually takes a few days for the clients to get out of their places. The ones that showed up first are the ones that were rescued from flooding. So the stories you get are the flood stories. But then just when I was leaving, we were starting to get the people that had bailed on their powerless home and were heading to the shelter for AC and some ice cold Cokes, and water and stuff like that. Okay. Hey, Kiri, I volunteered at special needs shelter after Katrina that my church in San Antonio hosted. One day on the way to the shelter, I stopped somewhere while waiting to be served, was chatting with a woman whose niece had been born a couple of weeks earlier. At the last second, they changed the baby's name from their original choice to Katrina. A neighbor across the street also has a daughter, Katrina, because she was born during the storm. Yep. Oh, man. Hey, Hugh. Good to see you here. Yeah, we could have used Zombie Squad there. Next time I need to put a call out to local zombie squadians to bring me coffee. Whoop. Ooh, Helen, I was upset at the Red Cross when a tornado came through here a few years back. They had set up a truck and were charging for coffee. Oofda. A local Cub Scout group started Let's Help, and within an hour of putting word out, the whole district came out with donations and set up a school outside shelter and cooked for the neighborhood and the workers. The troops even set up those huge garage shelters as dining rooms. Nice. This was over Easter Sunday. We even delivered meals and water to those who... And then it ends there. And, this minute, I got a message from my boss. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What's this? Is there a place still? Oh, is that place still open to house people temporarily? Yeah. So my understanding is the Orange County Expo and Conference Center in Orange, Texas. The Red Cross shelter there is still there and accepting people. But the thing about the Red Cross, it's actually kind of interesting. They, how do I say it? They are a bunch of organizers. They don't supply, they don't like, how do I say this? They set up with other companies and other people to actually do everything. So think of the Red Cross as just an organization that runs everything but doesn't own anything. So they they will contract McDonald's to supply the coffee and Pizza Hut to supply the food and that sort of thing. They don't have their kitchens, they don't have their equipment. The only thing that the Red Cross has is cots, the shelter bag, the toiletry kit that I told you, the blankets, the towels, and some computer stuff for the workers. And then everything else is subcontracted out. All the food, all the drinks, all the, all that. It's all stuff that they arrange local companies to supply. So, like in the case of the charging for the coffee, it's probably whoever they contracted to supply coffee was the one selling it. I could be wrong in this particular case, but there's all sorts of really weird rules about, even as a shelter worker, what we can say is supplied by the Red Cross and what is supplied by other organizations, sort of thing. Oh yeah, I remember that, Carrie. Last February, the power pole broke in my county. It took the power company a week to get the power back up. Yeah, and what are they saying in New Orleans? It's going to take, weeks to get the power back up to that city, and then all the surrounding areas too. And yeah, it's going to be ugly. Yep, they probably try and stay as long as they can, protect the property from looters, and get it secured. Yep, most definitely. Like I said, a lot of times, the wife and kids will go to the shelter, and the husbands and the older sons, and basically the worker bees in this case, who can, do the heavy lifting and the tree cutting and all that, stay behind. Oh, and I got another story for you. What was happening on in our neighborhood while I was there? But hey, Gerardo, good morning. Laura, yep. Listening to the Cajun Navy, I was very impressed. I filled out the forms to volunteer dispatch and IT. Probably won't get set up this time, but perhaps next. I hate to think of next time, but they always come, most definitely. And there's some storms in the Gulf area. Yeah, the Cajun Navy is pretty amazing. This time, because it was less of a flooding event and more of a wind event, a lot of the boats weren't necessary, but they still got the guys in the trucks and the people in the trucks and going. And like I said, dispatch, the way it works is someone contacts, someone needs rescue. They contact the Cajun Navy. The dispatcher takes the information and then passes it to whatever Cajun Navy team is close by to say, okay, here's some people that need to get rescued. And then they get rescued. And then the Cajun Navy then takes the people to the nearest shelter. So back during Harvey, the shelter where I was at here in the Woodlands, the area around it was flooded. And so the Cajun Navy was actually launching their boats from our parking lot into this flooded area. So most of the people at the shelter there were just within like a 2-mile radius of the church because all that was underwater. Okay. I need coffee. So, let's see. A few years ago, a major wildfire was set by some idiots. Yep. Red Cross came out and tried to prevent us locals from feeding the workers. We rebelled and started feeding our workers. Red Cross wound up just sitting in a truck giving out water. The county got a huge bill. Oh, that sucks. So let's talk about that quick. So at a Red Cross shelter, like in an area a zoned Red Cross area, the Red Cross is responsible for the health and upkeep of the people that partake in the services offered by the Red Cross. And so one thing they've found is that people bringing in homemade food, like at the shelters, there it's a little easier to control. You get a lot of people showing up at the shelter saying, oh, I baked a cake for, the poor destitute clients and all this stuff. Or here I brought, a big thing of chili and all this stuff. And they've had problems in the past with people bringing this food that hadn't been properly, heat maintained and refrigerated, and suddenly you have a shelter filled of people with food poisoning. So the rule became no personal made food is allowed to be served the clients at the shelters because they've had, again, bad experiences with that. And so the easiest thing to do is to say, nope. So yeah, you end up telling a lot of people, thanks, but we can't accept this. And then they get all upset. And that might have been the same sort of thing that was going on your place, Carrie, is that if it's a Red Cross designated zone, then technically they can't allow homemade food in there because of all the food safety issues. And then the Red Cross would be A, held responsible for anyone that got food poisoning because the Red Cross allowed that food to be served, and B, it makes their life that much harder when everyone has food poisoning. So again, there's a rule there. Okay, oops. All right. Meanwhile, back in our neighborhood, So the English guy that lives next door and his wife from Peru, who is pregnant, she's like 6 months pregnant. Anyhow, they had less than a year ago, they had gotten a brand new Ford Explorer, because they're big into camping and all this stuff, and it became their mobile family cave, I guess, sort of thing. So they had it all, set up for camping. Sunday, he was driving down 45, and a car speeding, and they estimate probably over 100 miles per hour, rear-ended him, sent him off the road, down into the ditch, jumped. It actually sent him airborne over this ravine, which was actually very thankful, and smashed down on the other side. His vehicle was totaled. The car that hit him at over 100 miles per hour was totaled. The car that hit him was being driven by a driver that had no insurance, and the owner of the car did not have insurance. So their year-old Ford Explorer was totaled by someone with no insurance, which is very common in Texas. And so he was really upset. He was unharmed. They took him to the hospital and checked him out and everything, but he was fine. So Sunday, their relatively new, 1-year-old vehicle gets demolished. Then when I got home Tuesday afternoon, he and some of the other neighbors were standing in the yard, and there were some cops there. Ooh, 7:50 already. And they waved me over as I pull in. So yesterday at 11:30 in the morning, someone had broken the window in the back of their house, climbed through, ransacked the house, and stole stuff, and then left. And so now this guy is he's been in Houston, I'd say probably 6 or 7 years now, but he's just really, 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 really upset. His wife is freaked out because, someone broke into their house, ransacked it, after their car was totaled by someone who had no insurance, and they're just mentally falling apart. So yeah, prayers for them would be really good because they are very, very, very unhappy. So yeah, totaled the car by people with no insurance, and then while they were at work the next day, or the day after, the house got broken into and ransacked. Right now it looks like, from what little video neighbors got of what was going on, it looks like it was an adult male and then a young kid, a very small kid, and they actually broke the window and then kind of boosted the kid through the window, and then the kid opened the door, and everything was taken. So yeah. Anyhow, what else we got going on? Oh, it's time for the group take. Let's do the group take. Yeah, group take. I love Jonathan's recap. Is Jonathan even here today? Anyway, I love Jonathan's recap of the donut shop that he posted yesterday. That was really funny. Okay, we got the immune pill, which I was just gobbling like candy over the course of the weekend. Yeah, at the Norcas shelter, it was all masks in place and all this stuff all times. So, the brain pill. Another thing I was eating a lot of is I was awake for hours and hours. I was using the brain pill to keep me sharp. The liver pill. Now, one thing that surprised me is there was less ham radio traffic. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Morning hug. All right, where were we? Oh yeah, the uric acid pill, which I don't need. The blood pressure pill, which I probably should have had there, but I didn't. But I'm just going to take one. Serenity pill. Another one I should have brought, but didn't. I need to. The Libido pill. One, I put that back. And of course the Stonebreaker pill. And I like to take one of those just as preventative maintenance, if you will. Okay. All right, Kiri, I use Harvey to share why all need to be prepared even if you are not in the path of the storm. It gave me zero point 0.5 inches of rain in my rain gauge. Friend West got nothing, but we had no gas. And gas trucks just couldn't bring gas to us folks because Houston needed the gas. Yep. And that's the other thing. I mean, if you're anywhere within like 100 miles of where you think the storm's going to hit, it might be smart to fill up a spare gas tank, store it safely, outside, undercover sort of thing, not in the house. Just because gas prices, a lot of the gasoline is going to go in. Luckily, there's a lot of gasoline tank farms in the Houston area that were also on that whole caravan heading east into Louisiana to bring them gasoline. But yeah, it's going to be tricky. The gas station I mentioned that was like a mile down the road. It was just off I-10, and by 10:30 Sunday night they were out of gas. So, and I don't know when they got gas. Did they have gas? I didn't even bother checking on my way out Tuesday. But yeah, the gas station there on I-10 was out of gas by Sunday night. Okay, no shelter was needed. Fire destroyed grass and cedar trees and deer blinds. The Red Cross was just here because state had to come take charge of fighting fire because only volunteer fire departments. Red Cross learned not to mess with country people. That is the truth. Ooh, I had River, my son, during Sandy. Cool. Hey, Nicole, today is our first day of forest school for our 21-22 school year. Cool. Get them out into the woods. All right. Yeah, that's awful. Sending prayers and love to them. Yeah. They're pretty upset. The neighbors, very, very. They're just in that Jobsian why us sort of thing. And it's because Mrs. Weather was home here. Minnie Weather was home here. The neighbor on the other side of them was home. There was action going on in the street or in the houses and so forth. But yeah, apparently Minnie Weather heard the alarm go off in the house next door, but didn't know what it was and didn't think anything of it. So now she knows. Hey, Alicia, good morning. Okay. Was there any chance the two incidents are related? The car being smashed and the house being robbed? And Anthony thinks they are, but the police and I and the other neighbors think, no, probably not. Side note. So if you program the GPS in your vehicle as to where your home is, like, and actually put your address there, and also have the garage door opener in your vehicle, in the case of an accident or the car being stolen, people can then go to your home and also steal stuff there. One thing that's recommended on your GPS, don't have your home as the home base. Have like the entrance to your neighborhood or a few blocks away from your home, but don't have your actual home as your GPS home. Yeah, because otherwise they can just go there, open up the garage, and steal stuff. But even though he did have home labeled as home and the GPS, home labeled as home and the GPS, and the garage door programmed into the garage door opener automatic thing in the car, we don't think it was together. I think it was a crime of. There was a strange white car that was parked in the neighborhood, and I think they were just watching to see where people were leaving, what houses were leaving, and then picked one where it looked like both people left. So, Yep, that's a huge hit to their sense of security, both at home and in their community. It'll take time to heal them that, very, very definitely. Yeah, Alicia, man, it's so sad that you use a kid to do such terrible things. Yeah, starting them early, I guess. And it was one of those cases where for 22 years, this neighborhood was actually, just perfect and wonderful. And now, like, on the street alone, we had the drug shootout, and now this house being broken into. And then we do have our fair number of porch pirates stealing Amazon packages. So a lot of the people have started putting in cameras. I have cameras that I have saved on the Amazon, but I haven't actually pulled the trigger on. I think it'll be time to do that. Yeah, that was one thing I noticed when I was there. I brought my ham radio stuff along to the shelter, and some downtimes I was tuning in. There wasn't much traffic. I really didn't hear anything on the hams until Monday evening. They started up again. I don't know what was going on, but most of the hams uh, have the batteries to run their system and all that sort of thing. I think it might have been they were just too busy doing survival stuff to do ham radio stuff. Ooh, okay. Good news for that area was last week traveling over 99 and Spring Creek and watched someone in Spring Creek catch a big fish. Cool. That's one thing. Spring Creek has been pretty high all summer, so hopefully there are more fish, especially catfish. Yeah, I spent some time. I mentioned one of the guys, one of the clients at the shelter was a shrimp boat operator owner, and we spent like 2 hours talking about food and seafood and all this sort of stuff. It was torture, but that's okay. All right, it is 8 a.m. I wonder where my parents were. They weren't here. Okay. Yeah, it's 8 a.m. I got a lot of medicine man stuff to do. And then Tracy, I need to talk to you more about your order. I need coffee. This might be a rock star more. This is probably, no, this is a Uncommon Bees Buzz Honey morning. Ooh, wait, okay. So our pier and beam home had significant water damage under the house. Contractor came and cleaned everything up. It looked okay to us and the pipe repair guy. That was not the case. The plastic that covered the insulation is sagging. Oh, my daughter was running through the house and fell through the floor. Apparently the water was sitting inside the plastic since February, and now we have a hole in our floor and it's warping. They have to gut our kitchen and bathroom trying to be positive. Oh, Kimberly, I'm so sorry. Oh, that ain't good. Prayers for everyone, hugs for everyone. All right, it's good to be back. Tired. I don't think, man, I'm getting too old for this sort of thing. No, if so part of the issue was my boss had to fly to Colorado to do some medicine man stuff, some supply stuff, try and work out. And so I had to be here to take over everything while he's out there. But otherwise, yeah, I'd probably still be at the shelter. You know me, I like to help people. Anywho, all right. To all of you, it's good to be back. I will see you, what's today? Is today Wednesday? I'll see you tomorrow. See you Thursday. Until then, end broadcast.